Hi students, this is CS Srinivasarao Nakka. So today we are here to discuss day before examination strategy for corporate and other law subject, which is to be held on May 5th, 2024 for CA inter examination. So for that exam, we are here today to discuss day before examination strategy. Day before examination strategy means you know very well on May 3rd, you are going to write accounts exam for CA inter group 1 paper number 1. After completing that paper, so you have 24 hours effective time. Sir, how sir we have a 24 hours effective time, sir? See, very simply I will say on May 3rd, you have a accounts examination by 5 o'clock. That means you will complete your accounts examination. So May 3rd, you can read for 4 hours. You can afford 4 hours. So by 6th maybe you will reach. So 6th to 10th 4 hours. So 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. you can read. So 4 hours available time is on May 3rd. And point number 1 you have to remember, please don't waste your time to discuss about accounts paper what is already completed. Don't waste your time, I am saying, okay? So even you are wasting 15 minutes also for that, it is a waste of time. No use for that, already it is done, it is completed. So you cannot change whatever you wrote in the exam. Please don't discuss any answers, suggested answers, or whatever it may be, whether whatever you are writing is correct or not. Please don't discuss anything. That is a waste of time. Please don't bother about that paper number 1 which is already completed. Okay? So even though this paper 1 is not, hopefully you are not writing, but maybe you can get good marks in the next paper exams also. Okay, so please don't waste your time for discussing that paper number 1. Please, out of examination hall, please forget about paper number 1. So come to the paper number 2. Please concentrate on paper number 2, corporate and other laws. So May 3rd, you can study, you can effort 4 hours, and May 4th also 24 hours time is there. So out of 24 hours, you can read 14 hours effectively. Okay, 14 hours effectively. And May 5th, on the day of examination, maybe by 1 p.m. you have to go to the examination hall. So on that day also you can read 6 hours. So total available time is 24 hours. Now I am here to discuss in these 24 hours what you have to do. That is what day before examination strategy. In these 24 hours what you have to do. That is what I am going to explain. So you have effective hours, how much time is available for a law exam, for preparation, for preparing law exam. 24 hours time is available for preparing law exam. During this 24 hours what you have to do. That is what I am going to say now. First point number 1. What is the point number 1? You have to remember. Don't waste time. Don't waste time. What is point number 1, ma? Don't waste your time. For what purpose you cannot waste your time? To discuss about your accounts paper. Paper number 1. Please forget about it. Then point number 2. Please effectively utilize this 24 hours time. Sir, how to utilize this effective time for 24 hours, sir? So which areas you have to, at least you have to cover, which areas you have to cover before examination in the law subject, which areas you have to cover, which areas you have to cover in the law subject during this 24 hours. That is what I am going to explain now. Not only that, the areas what you have to cover during this 24 hours, but also a few some more important points. That is what I am going to explain. Okay, so which areas you have to cover, ma? First, you know very well, for corporate and corporate law 70 marks are there, for other laws 30 marks are there. So for corporate laws, out of 70 marks, very important topic is company law. So to clear your law subject, company law is very important. First you start your revision with the company law. First you start your revision with company law subjects. Sir, company law, what areas you want me to cover, sir? Chapter wise, you have to cover some areas. Don't leave even one chapter also as a choice. You have to cover all the chapters. Even during 24 hours also, you have to cover all the chapters in company law. First, for example, classification of companies topic, you have to cover private company, public company, government company, small company, and holding and subsidiary company, listed and unlisted company. That's all. That's classification of companies topic is completed. And next, incorporation of a company chapter, reservation of name. What is that? Reservation of name, consequences of providing wrong information, incorrect or incomplete information, section number 7. And as well as section 1% company have to revise once, and section 8 company also have to revise once. 1% company, especially rule number 3, 4, and section 8 company, issuing of license, revocation of license. That is what you have to concentrate. And moreover, you have to concentrate in incorporation of a company chapter, memorandum of association, name clause, memorandum of what should be the name, what should not be the name of the company, and alteration of name clause, situation clause, as well as object clause, especially object clause, procuring money from public, that also you have to cover, and rectification of name also you have to cover. Not only alteration of situation clause, but also publication of registered office, change of registered office under section 12 also you have to cover from incorporation of a company chapter. Okay, and not only that, articles of association, entrenchment provisions, and model articles versus framed articles you have to cover once. And holding company, subsidiary company, section number 19, subsidiary company cannot hold shares in holding company, that also you have to revise once. And not only that, not only these topics you have to cover small topics also, service of documents, authentication of documents, deeds, execution of instruments, this also you have to cover 21, 22, 20. By this, incorporation of company chapter is completed. These are the areas what you have to cover. Next chapter, you know very well, prospectus and allotment of securities, types of public offer, types of prospectus, including shelf prospectus, deemed prospectus, red herring prospectus, and contents of prospectus 26 you have to cover once. And not only that, misleading prospectus, what is the consequences of misleading prospectus, 34, 35, civil liability, criminal liability. And not only that, when the prospectus is misleading, and allotment of securities, three conditions are there: listing of securities, minimum subscription. This is what you have to cover. And not only that, private placement, section number 42, including rules for the section number 42, means rule number 14 also you have to cover in prospectus, and allotment of dematerialization of securities concept also you have to cover in prospectus and allotment of securities concept. Next chapter is share capital debentures. In this chapter you have to cover types of shares, equity shares, preference shares, issue and redemption of preference shares, and equity shares with differential rights, ESDR also you have to cover once. Okay, and utilization of security premium, section number 52, and issue of bonus shares, issue of right shares, and ESOP sweat equity 54, 62. These also you have to cover. And not only that, buyback and reduction, section number 68 and 62, alteration of authorized share capital, that also you have to cover once in the share capital chapter. And comes to the debentures chapter, in that chapter, debenture trustees and not only procedure for issue of security debentures and debentures authority matrix is very important, that also you have to cover. This is what share capital and debentures chapter, very simple. And the next one is registration of charges chapter. In that chapter what you have to cover, fixed charge versus floating charge, and as well as registration of charges, what is the time available for registration of charges, satisfaction of charge, modification of charge, that's all. This is what you have to cover in registration of charges chapter. And next you have to cover acceptance of deposits. Okay, in that chapter actually acceptance of deposits from public, acceptance of deposits from public, as well as acceptance of deposits from private, limit on acceptance of deposits, that is what you have to cover especially in deposits chapter. And management administration chapter, you know very well, types of meeting, EGM, AGM, day to time, place, these are all you have to cover. And due date for conducting AGM held by directors, AGM held by the members, that also you have to cover once more. And not only the types of resolutions and types of notice, and the types of business to be transacted, ordinary business, special business, ordinary resolution, special resolution, ordinary notice, special notice, and voting by show of hands, voting by poll. In poll actually voting through postal ballot, passing resolution through postal ballot, and voting through electronic means also you have to cover once. And special notice, quorum, proxy, these are the topics what you have to cover. Not only that, register member, significant beneficial owner provisions also you have to revise once in management and administration chapter. And filing of annual returns, that also with due dates you have to concentrate. Filing of annual returns also you have to concentrate by in management administration chapter. And next chapter, declaration of dividends, you know, interim dividend versus final dividend, sources for payment of dividend, and dividend paying out of general reserves, that also you have to see. And procedure for payment of dividend, unclaimed dividend to transfer to EPF, these are the provisions what you have to cover in dividend chapter. And accounts of the company chapter, especially you have to concentrate on CSR. CSR provisions are very important. CSR as well as filing of financial statements, due dates for filing financial statements, which form you have to file the financial statements, all these things you have to cover. And not only that, consolidated financial statements, books of accounts responsibility, and appointment of internal auditor is also very important in financial statements. You please cover that topic also. Okay, accounts of the companies. Next comes to the LLP Act. LLP Act, you know, the 10 to 14 marks. Okay, you cannot leave it as a choice. You have to cover a designated partner and incorporation of LLP, as well as section number 7 and section number 10 liabilities also you have to cover. And fraud, section number 30 also you have to cover once. And you have to cover financial statement of account and solvency, as well as filing annual returns, and appointment of auditor, audit of LLP, small LLP, these also you have to cover. And reduction in number of partners, section number 6 also you have to cover once by in LLP Act. So and next you have to go to FEMA Act. You have to concentrate on Foreign Exchange Management Act. You have to concentrate on residential status, PR, II, PR, OA. This concept you have to cover. And capital account to current account transactions you have to read once. And from companies incorporated outside India, that is what newly added topic in company law, that also you have to see once. Okay, and General Clause Act, interpretation of statutes, last Previous 5 question papers, MTPs, RTPs, you have to, whatever the questions they are asking, repeatedly they are asking the same questions. You please refer once in general class at interpretation of statutes. After revising all these areas, or where to revise, sir? Please revise in your masterminds material, or maybe your running notes, or maybe your gist, whatever maintained by you, and you have to revise the same. Don't read the new material before the examination. This is what point number 2 you have to remember, ma. Don't read the new material before the examination. Whatever the material you are very familiar with, that material only you have to revise. And not only that, ma, after revising all the concepts, you have to revise the practical questions in masterminds material also. For each and every chapter, practical questions you have to revise once. It will take very less time. After covering all these areas, once you make sure that you are confident about all these areas, then you can move forward. You have to refer the MTPs which are released by the ICA Institute recently. MTP series 1, MTP series 2, which is released by the ICA Institute recently. That also you have to refer once, including answers, everything you have to refer once. And the pre-final question papers which has been, means pre-final examination conducted by the Masterminds Institute, that pre-final question papers also you have to refer once with answers. And not only that, ma, guest questions released by the Masterminds Institute, that also you have to see once, ma. And you have to remember one point, okay, next exam, before starting the preparation for the next exam, you please watch the video for the next exam before examination strategy also, which is uploaded into Masterminds YouTube channel, ma. That also you have to see once. So before starting the examination, means before starting the preparation for that exam. And make sure, point number 1, don't waste your time for discussing the financial accounting, means accounting paper. So paper number 1 is already completed. And number 2, what are the areas I said, that areas you have to cover compulsory, and you have a time available, you can cover all other areas also. And point number 3, refer the MTPs and the pre-final question papers, as well as your guest questions also, and practical questions in the Masterminds material. Everything you have to cover, ma. Before 24 hours is more than sufficient to cover all these things. Don't think, sir, how can I complete all these things within 24 hours? Sir, you can complete. Already you revised 2 to 3 times the total syllabus. So this is 4th time or 5th time you are revising, or 3rd time, 4th time. So it is very easy to revise. Quickly you can revise. Okay, please concentrate on the important points which are especially noted in your Masterminds material. Okay, so you please refer those points only, and just like a gist you have to refer. Okay, so don't try to read the new material before the examination. Don't try to read the new material before the examination. And during the examination, don't start with your examination with scenario based MCQs, plus to start descriptive in between. Then you can go for scenario based MCQs, and after, at the end, again you have to complete your exam with the descriptive question paper, ma. That is what you have to plan and manage your time very well. So 3 hours 15 minutes is available. So it is more than sufficient for law exam. You can write even 119 marks including choice also. Better if you are writing choice also, then your maybe probability of getting more marks, you are increasing the probability of getting more marks, ma. If you are attempting more marks, actually 119 marks you are getting. So I wish you all the best. Be confident. Please try to increase your level of confidence before going to the examination. That is what very important. Okay, so before going to examination, you have to increase the level of confidence. That's why don't read any new material. Read the same material what you are familiar with that. Okay, so especially your Masterminds material only. Okay, so that is what you have to do. Okay, all the best. See you. Good luck. Thank you.